All right, we're going to continue with 9.1, and in this video we're going to talk about all of the angle vocabulary you need to know. Again, these are all review topics, but it's probably been a while since you've done this, so write down as much as you need to or as little as you need to, but all of these are vocab words you'll need to know. So first of all, an angle looks like this. What an angle has is it's got a vertex, and it's got two rays that are called the sides of the angle. So each of these little arms of the angle is a ray, and it's also called the side of the angle. So there's a few different angle types you need to know. Obtuse. An obtuse angle is an angle that has a measurement that is between 90 and 180. So that's obtuse. An acute angle is an angle measurement that is between 0 and 90. I kind of remember this because the small one, the one that's the smaller one is acute. That's how I remember it, to tell the difference between acute and obtuse. All right, and if it is exactly 90 degrees, it is a right angle. You probably remember that, but a right angle is exactly 90 degrees, and it has that little square symbol to show that it's right. And if your angle is exactly 180 degrees, it's called a straight angle. So exactly 180 degrees is a straight angle, and it doesn't even really look like an angle. It looks like it's a straight line, but it really still is two rays stuck together, so it is technically an angle. And then we've got pairs of angles you're going to need to know about. The first pair of angles are called vertical angles. To make a vertical angle, you just take an angle you've got and you just exactly reflect it over. And because it's exactly reflected over, the two angles inside of here have the same exact measure. So those two angles that are created when I reflect that angle have the same measure, and that is a handy fact I'll show you how to use in a little bit. The next pair you need to know about are called complementary. And the last one will be supplementary. So that's something we want to work on, is determining the difference between complementary and supplementary angles. All right, two angles that are complementary are going to add to be 90 degrees. So these two angles add to 90 degrees. And then the supplementary angles are two angles that add to be 180 degrees. The way I tell these apart is if you say, oh, hey, you're right about that, I think that's a compliment. This is how I remember it, actually. So if you're like, oh, you're right. Right is 90 degrees, so and that's a compliment when you're telling someone that. So you can think of it as a compliment anyways. So that's how I remember that one's 90, and then the supplement is just the other one. So that's 180. That's how I remember it. To use those facts, if I wanted to know, let's say I was looking for what angle is complementary to 32 degrees. What angle is complementary to 32 degrees? And I also want to know what angle is supplementary to 32 degrees. What angle is supplementary to 32 degrees? Okay, when I'm doing a question like this, I'm really just working backwards. So what angle is complementary to 32 degrees? Complement is the 90 degree. So to figure this out, I'm just going to subtract 32 from 90, and it's 58 degrees is the angle that's complementary. So the supplementary angle is 180 degrees, so I do 180, subtract 32, and I get 148. Please write down any questions you have. Thanks for listening.